I'm a host and so I have to ask you this question because everybody always want to know this. Are you dating anyone? Can I get my bring the gift? I get a gift. Get a couple more gift. Alright. So. You know I love a gift, man. Yeah, I know you love a gift. Can we open it up? Yes. Come on. Okay. Y'all can wait a few minutes. Let me open my gifts. She can't wait. What you give me? Yo, Jennifer like gifts. She got different love language, but she like gifts. He like affirmations and words and things like that. Oh. Oh, it's a hummingbird. It's a hummingbird. It's. Thank you. She really been into hummingbirds. I love it. Hummingbird. Hummingbird. Okay. Another gift. Another gift. Ooh-ho. My hummingbird. Okay. I'm still showing off my hummingbird. Before we dive into this absolute mess, let me just say. Didn't we call this when Common started parading around with Jennifer Hudson? Like she was his forever woman? Half. Y'all were already placing bets on when this would implode. And here we are. Watching the common denominator live up to his name once again. But what's got me scratching my head is the whiplash we're getting from this man. Just last month, he was on every platform gushing about their life partnership and calling Jennifer one of his greatest blessings. Fast forward to today, and we're hearing whispers about him blindsiding our girl and allegedly moving on with someone else entirely. But here's where it gets interesting. Sources are saying this isn't just about him finding a new flower to pollinate. Word on the street is Jennifer rejected his marriage proposal last year, and he has been harboring some serious resentment ever since. Others are whispering that Common got tired of pretending altogether, if you catch my drift. So, buckle up, people, because we're about to unpack exactly why the man who claimed Jennifer was his soulmate allegedly can't stand her anymore. And trust me, none of these theories are what you'd expect. Let's start with what we cannot deny about Common. This man has consistently dated some of the most stunning, successful women in Hollywood. We're talking about a roster that reads like a who's who of black excellence. Serena Williams, Taraji P. Henson, Tiffany Haddish, Erykah Bedouin, Angela Rhee, Ava DuVernay. I mean, the man clearly has exquisite taste. But here's the plot twist that should have been everyone's first red flag. None of these incredible women ever stuck around. And we're not talking about regular relationship endings. We're talking about a pattern so predictable you could set your watch to it. Common himself spilled the tea on his own behavior, and it was damning. He openly admitted to being addicted to what he called the honeymoon period of relationships. Not love itself, but that initial rush, the chase, that intoxicating feeling of falling. He literally told a therapist that once those early fireworks fizzled out, he would just disappear like smoke. More love addiction than then I mean. Obviously a wonderful thing, but to be honest, the pattern I found myself in, what was called love addiction, who my therapist broke it down was, imagine being that self-aware about your toxic behavior and still continuing to do it. But wait, there's more. This man also admitted he gets solely obsessed with the pursuit and early stages, then gets bored and drops everything. It's giving emotional vampire higher energy. He feeds off the excitement of conquest, then leaves these women confused about what they did wrong. So, when Jennifer Hudson thought her charm and success would be the magical combination to finally tame Common and make him settle down, it was honestly delusional. She really thought she was different from Serena Williams, from Erykah Bedouin, from women who are equally talented, beautiful, and accomplished. The therapist in me wants to feel sorry for Jennifer, but the realist in me is like, you knew exactly who you were dealing with. This man's relationship resume was a public record of broken hearts and abandoned commitments. Yet, she still thought she could be the one to change a pattern that had been decades in the making. Now, to be completely fair to Jennifer, Common did give her some reason to believe he was different this time. When they started dating, he made all the right public declarations about having gone through therapy and being ready to settle down. He specifically said he could now be the marrying type, and even boldly stated that if he married anyone, it would be Jennifer Hudson. And going through those cycles and man, thank God I went to therapy, because I was able to identify that what that pattern was and why I was feeling that way. So now, in relationships, I could be like, okay, this is what this is how I really feel. Those are some big promises coming from a man whose longest relationship lasted about as long as a seasonal TV show. And initially, it seemed like maybe therapy had actually worked. They were glowing together at red carpet events, posting couple goals content on social media. And Jennifer was talking about their life partnership like she'd finally found her person. But if you were paying close attention, and trust me, the internet always is, there were subtle shifts happening. Eagle-eyed followers started noticing fewer joint appearances, changes in their body language during interviews, and Jennifer posting increasingly cryptic messages that had people reading between the lines like scripture scholars. The chemistry that once radiated from their photos started feeling forced. Jennifer's usually radiant smile seemed strained when she talked about common men in interviews. And most telling of all, Common started doing more solo appearances at events where you'd normally expect to see them together. But the real tea was brewing behind the scenes. Multiple sources close to both camps started whispering about tension, about heated discussions behind closed doors, about Common being spotted around town looking a little too comfortable with other women. The writing was on the wall, but none of us were prepared for just how messy the unraveling would be. Because when a man like Common starts feeling trapped or rejected, that love addiction energy can quickly turn into something much darker and more vindictive. When things got tough, and it's time to work through stuff, I wasn't willing to work through it. And I would make excuses like, oh man, that's interfering with my work. Like this is. Relationships ain't good for me. I don't make my best albums when I. Now we're getting to the heart of why common men allegedly can't stand Jennifer anymore. And this is where the story gets really juicy. According to multiple sources close to the situation, Common Man didn't just casually bring up marriage. He went full traditional, romantic, and actually proposed to Jennifer Hudson last year. And Jennifer? She said no. But before you start dragging Jennifer, let's understand why. She rejected what should have been a dream proposal from a man she claimed to love. First, Jennifer wasn't stupid. She'd watched Common cycle through some of the most incredible women in entertainment, and despite all his therapy talk, she was terrified of becoming another casualty in his pattern. Sources revealed that Jennifer specifically told Common Man she wasn't ready because his history with women made her question whether his promises were genuine. Can you imagine being in love with someone but constantly wondering if you're just the next temporary obsession? That's psychological torture. But the deeper reason Jennifer hesitated had nothing to do with Common and everything to do with her own trauma. Her relationship with David Otunga was so toxic that it left her genuinely believing marriage might not be in the cards for her ever again. She told friends she was scared to commit and didn't want to risk going through another devastating breakup that could destroy her emotionally. Troubling news about Jennifer Hudson. It is over with her fiancé after nearly 10 years together. And Jennifer has actually taken legal action to keep him away. Jennifer had been engaged to David for 9 years. 9 whole years of her life invested in a relationship that ended in protective orders and legal battles. The woman was understandably shy about making that level of commitment again, especially to someone with Common's track record. According to insiders, Common Man tried desperately to reassure Jennifer that he was different now, that therapy had changed him, that he was in it for the long run. But Jennifer's response was heartbreaking and practical.